Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Manikansan Study Mantra for the next time. Okay, now we are going to start with a new lesson, that is what? Chapter number 6 of this book Living Science, published by Ratna Sagar. So, as you all know that nowadays I am providing online classes for Luit International Academy, Bokakhat. So on behalf of our team, I am presenting a video for explaining the concept behind this chapter, whose name is Plants Preparing and Storing Food. So let's take a look over here. So this is the chapter that we need to discuss for today. So the name itself explains the meaning of the concepts that are going to be delivered through this. So plants, we all know what is plant. Then preparing and storing their food, how a plant prepares and stores the residual amount of food inside it. About those things, or about those objectives, we are going to study this through this particular chapter. So take a look what is our aim throughout this chapter. Okay, our aims: to enable the student to see the structure of a typical green leaf, then understand and appreciate the process of photosynthesis in green leaves, then recognize the interdependence between plants and animals and the energy flow between them, then understand the importance of programs like what? Van Mahotsav. Then the last but not the least, conduct simple laboratory tests. There you will, throughout this chapter, you will have some laboratory tests. So regarding those tests, I will explain throughout the lesson. Then these are the aids that we need. The first, animation on food preparation in plants, which at present for me it is not possible to do throughout this video because I have no such arrangement. Next, fresh leaves of mustard, lily, balsam, colus, then tradescantia. Okay, so these are the fresh leaves. These are the plants actually whose fresh leaves we need for doing the laboratory tests. For separate activities we need separate demand. Then preserved or fresh specimens of potato, carrot, brinjal, sugarcane, spinach, then peas. Then specimens of mold and mushroom, black pepper, strip, pin, stove, iodine solution, alcohol beaker, petri dish. So these are the important apparatus that we need to complete our activities. Now the last is a microscope and a permanent slide of the cross section of a leaf. These are the experimental aids which we need to understand this chapter, concepts of this chapter thoroughly. So at present considering the present situation of our country, we are a bit in a lower side to do these experiments because we need offline classes for doing so. Okay, so as much as possible throughout these online classes I will try to explain the things, okay, throughout the voice and audio clips. So thank you for watching this video, and please join the video to move to go through the chapter thoroughly. So let us start with the main course. Sorry. So the first paragraph, how green and beautiful is this tree? This is the tree. You can look at here. About this tree it is telling. Then it is full of green leaves. Why are leaves green? Why do most plants and trees have green leaves? These are the questions actually. These are the basic questions that may come to one's mind, a child's mind, every every now and then. That means these are the questions that arises in our mind. But the most important answer for this, the last question, that is why do most plants and trees have green leaves? The basic concept behind this green color is none other than the presence of a substance called chlorophyll, which makes a leaf green in color. In plants or in plant leaves, there you will come to know that there a green pigment, or later in higher classes you will come to know that there is a term called plastid, and that plastid is responsible for this green color. And there are three more kinds of plastids, but out of those plastids this is the one which is responsible for the green color of any leaf in a plant. So this pigment is called chlorophyll. Very important. Remember the spelling as well as the word. Now only green leaves can make food for the plant since they contain chlorophyll. See, the leaves which are green are the only leaves which can make food for the plants since they contain chlorophyll. That means chlorophyll is responsible for making food inside any plant. Green leaves need air, water and sunlight to prepare food. Very important line. Any green leaf cannot prepare food only with the help of only from chlorophyll. They need some other substances like air, water and sunlight to prepare food along with chlorophyll. So I will explain all these components to make food, to prepare food by a leaf later in this course, but now at present it is a basic or preliminary. In the preliminary level you should know the components which we need, which actually a leaf need to prepare their food. Let us move to the next page where we will learn about these things a bit precisely. Next, you can clearly see this picture where there you have seen a leaf which is green in color. Then some arrow marks are also there. I will explain the things. There is a stem, there is a sun over there. Now the green color leaf means there is chlorophyll present. Now I will explain the thing before starting this food for plants paragraph. Okay, this topic, before starting this I will try to give you a rough idea regarding how plant leaves prepare food. Okay, so these arrow marks, these small arrow marks you can see here, see, these arrow marks, these arrow marks, these arrow marks, these arrow marks. Actually this stem is connected to ground, where that means soil. There you will this plant will have roots, right? So that roots will absorb water from ground or soil. That water will be transported throughout the stem via some vessels later, which we will come to know that those are called xylem. So through xylem this water is being transported from root to or you may say call it as from soil to the leaf. Okay, that means the leaf gets water from the soil. Now air is another component, but actually air is a mixture of several gases. All the gases are not necessary for food preparation by a plant. The only gas that is responsible for preparation of food by a leaf is carbon dioxide. I hope all of you have heard about these gases: carbon dioxide, oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, argon. These gases, I hope all of you are very much familiar at present. So out of all those gases only carbon dioxide is used by the plant leaf in order to prepare food. Now sunlight will get from the sun, you can see clearly in the diagram, but where is the green, what is the use of that green leaf? Because green leaf is the one where chlorophyll, a pigment named chlorophyll is present. Now what is the work of that, what is the role of that chlorophyll pigment? Yes, the chlorophyll pigment is the main component in this case. Chlorophyll used to trap the energy that has been fallen on the surface of the leaf from the sunlight, that means sun. The energy which were fallen on the leaf were trapped or absorbed by the chlorophyll pigments present underneath the surface of the you can say leaf, right? So the energy originally comes from where? From the sun, but it is being trapped by what? This leaf, but not exactly leaf, by the chlorophyll. Now I am trying to give you an example which is not exactly related to this particular, but up to some extent you may understand. See, I hope most of you have an inverter as well as a battery at your home. Whenever electricity is there at your home, the circuit, the bulb and all electrical appliances smoothly runs, right? But whenever electricity is not there, that means the electricity I am talking about, that electricity which is being supplied from the electricity board, if it discontinues, that means power cut happens. If there is an inverter battery at your home, what will happen? Your household appliances will be can be easily accessible, yes or no? That means easily used, because an uninterrupted power supply will be supplied from the battery to the throughout the circuit of your inside your home. Now what happens here? If suppose there is a fault in the inverter, that means if you look at the carefully that particular system that is being installed at your home, there you will look a inverter as well as a battery. If one of them is not present, then also you cannot be able to get that uninterrupted power supply. Do you understand me? अगर आपके घर में जो इन्वर्टर सिस्टम लगा हुआ है उनमें से अगर एक, या तो आप बैटरी को हटा लीजिए या फिर आप इन्वर्टर को ही हटा लीजिए, क्या आपको करंट ना रहने पर उसका लाभ मिलेगा? दैट मीन्स विल यू बी एबल टू गेट इलेक्ट्रिसिटी if you remove any one of these two components? Definitely not, right? The same thing here. If you compare electricity as the energy supplied by sun, if you compare the electricity that is being supplied by electricity board as a sun, as the energy supplied by sun in case of this process, food preparing process, and chlorophyll, then you have to consider chlorophyll or compare chlorophyll as that inverter, understood, which can convert that energy into a storable form. That means in case of inverter system at your home, that inverter is responsible for storing that electricity supply whenever it was there in the home. That means whenever electricity supply was there during that time, our inverter used to store, or inverter converts that energy into a storable format which can be stored in the batteries. Yes, so similar things here this chlorophyll used to do. Chlorophyll is a inverter like pigments which store or trap the energy of the sun. Now why this plant need energy? See, if you want to do some activity, definitely you need energy. Yes or no? Do you believe that? To do anything, suppose you want to ride a bike, or if you want to drive a car, that car also need petrol or diesel as a fuel, right? So this stored energy by the chlorophyll will be utilized as a fuel during the process called photosynthesis, or which is also known as the food making process of plant. Now you have heard a new word called photosynthesis. Now there actually that is not a single word. Here though you listened it as a one single word, but actually it is not. Photosynthesis is a combination of two different words. One is photo, another is synthesis. Photo means related to light. You know light? Yes. And the synthesis means process of preparing something. Understood? Synthesis means process of preparing, or you can say putting together. Okay, so I hope you got a little bit of idea. Now let us get into the topic. Now you will definitely understand the thing. Okay, food for plants. A plant takes in water from the soil and carbon dioxide from the air. I have already discussed this thing. In the presence of sunlight, green leaves change air and water into food in the form of starch. A new word called starch. That means whenever chlorophyll is capable of storing or trapping the energy from sunlight, after that the water and carbon dioxide from air, both of them gets reacted with each other in order to form a food inside the plant leaf, and the name of that form of food is called starch. I hope you understood. Now sunlight provides energy to these leaves for preparing food. I have discussed it already, right? Now hence water, carbon dioxide, chlorophyll and sunlight are needed by leaves to prepare food. So these are the important words or components that were needed to prepare food. Understood? These you have to remember this. Water, carbon dioxide, chlorophyll and sunlight are needed by the leaf to prepare food. What are the components? They might ask. What are the components for preparation of food by the leaf? These are the components. Now photo means light and synthesis means putting together. I have already discussed this. Since sunlight is required to put water and carbon dioxide together as food, this process is called photosynthesis. Understood? That means sunlight, that means it is a light, is required to put that water content and carbon dioxide together as a food. Then this process must be called as what? Photosynthesis. I hope now all doubts have been cleared, right? So now let's move to the other parts of a leaf. Now we will discuss this point. Take a people leaf, observe the lower surface. This is the people leaf, you can see. This is the people, this is the people leaf. Okay, now lower surface of the leaf. You are asked to see the lower surface of the people leaf. Now you will see a main vein running along the center of the leaf. If you look at that leaf, there you will see a main vein like this, a main vein running through the center of the leaf, and some side veins like this, these are called side veins, which runs across the leaf. So now their name are very important. Now it has a number of side veins. The main vein is also called as what? Midrib. That main vein is known as, that the middle vein is known as midrib. Very important point. It is formed by a double pipeline of cells. Now there is a term called double pipeline. Why it is called pipeline of cells? See, I have already mentioned one name called xylem, right? There is one that is a pipeline. Through this pipeline, what happens? Actually, this is vessels, and vessels can be considered as pipelines, though they are not exactly look like a pipeline, but we can consider. And those pipelines are made by combination of some cells. Now through that xylem, we know that water is transported from root to the leaf. That means the direction of flow of water is upward. But if you use your sense, you can sense that some kind of food is being prepared by the leaf. And now, will all food prepared by the leaf are being used by that leaf? Are they going to consume that whole food by the leaf? If the leaf do so, what will happen? The other parts of the plant will, how it will get the food for their growth. Plants also need food for their growth and development, right? So other parts are not capable of preparing food, because they may not be green in color, but they normally needs food. Then how will they get? So there must be some concept of pipelining of cells through which the food prepared in the leaves must go to those parts also, toward up to, it must go up to the roots also, because roots are also not capable of preparing food because they are underground, so they don't have the opportunity of getting sunlight. So how it can be possible, how it will be possible for them to prepare food? So they also need, but they also need what? Food for their growth and development. So that means what? From food for transportation of food from the leaf up to the other part of the body, or you may say up to the root, there should be another pipeline, such that it doesn't obstruct the flow of water through the previous pipeline, that is xylem. So these new types of pipelining will be known as phloem. Later you will come to know about these things in higher classes, but for the time being I just want you to make aware about it. Okay, so if you try to understand, that means there are two different flow are introduced in this chapter, and for both these flow to be happen simultaneously or occur simultaneously, we need two pipelines, that is called double pipeline of cell. I hope you got it. One pipeline carries water and minerals to all the cells of the leaf, the other carries prepared food from the green cells to the other parts of the plant. I hope you got it. Quite interesting, right? Now move to the next paragraph. On the underside of a leaf are tiny pores called stomata. If you look at this cross section, there you will see some pores. See these pores, there are some pores. This can be only seen throughout with the help of a microscope. Without microscope, it is not possible for anyone to see those shapes. And if you look at these clearly, there you will see some these type of round shapes. See these bean type shapes you will look at near these pores, right? And these are called guard cells, bean shaped or cells or guard cells you call. This is guard cell, but this pore is known as stomata. If you look at here, this understood. So remember this, look at the book once again, you will come to know. I will explain the things very elaborately now. So we all come to know that these small pores are known as stomata. In singular form it is called stomata, but so in singular form it is called stoma, but in plural form it becomes it is called known as stomata. Now during photosynthesis, a leaf takes in carbon dioxide and gives out oxygen and water vapor through the stomata. Understood? Why these stomata needed? Suppose there was a leaf where no pores available. Just imagine, I am telling you to just imagine. Okay, suppose there is a leaf where no such pore is available, then is it possible to extract or absorb carbon dioxide from air into the leaf? Definitely not, right? So there must have some pores through which the carbon dioxide present in the air can be absorbed or enter into the leaf, right? So this is the evidence, clear evidence of having pores on the surfaces of a leaf. But remember one thing, the number of pores on the upper surface is much lesser in comparison to that in the lower surface of any leaf. Why? The reason I will explain this in higher classes, not in this. It is out of your syllabus. Okay, Though I have discussed lots of out of syllabus things to understand or give you the clear idea regarding this, though I think this is not that much important to understand right now, so that's why I'm skipping these things. Okay, but listen, one more thing I have not mentioned about oxygen. What is oxygen? See, during the process called photosynthesis, that is the process of preparing food by plant, there is a gas called oxygen is released, and the excess amount of water that has been supplied from or absorbed from the throughout the roots which reach to the leaf are also released throughout these pores called stomata in the form of water vapor. Understood? That excess water which is absorbed by the root and send it to the leaf are gets released throughout this stomata in the form of water vapor. But during the process of photosynthesis, there oxygen gas is also evolved. That means it occurs during the process, it is generated, and this gas is released throughout these small pores called stomata into the air. That means stomata is responsible for exchange of gaseous exchange, or you can say, and vapor, water vapor, exchange of gases and water vapor, right? So this is the main reason of having stomata on the leaf. So these are the basic things, but most important things. Okay, now you may have some pictures over there. These are what? Fruit, leaves, peas, carrot, sugarcane. We are going to discuss about this also in this chapter. Okay, later in this chapter. Now come to this point. How do plants use their food? One of the most important question. How do plants use their food, and why actually plant need food? Because because I have already discussed this point a few minutes earlier, but now I am going to again describe this. The food prepared by plants is in the form of simple sugar. The food that is being prepared by plant, that means in the leaf, the food prepared in the leaf are in a simple form of sugar. They are not exactly in a starch form. Okay, do you understand? It is in the simple form called glucose. Actually, I have to come up to here. Here it was written like this, no? That food in the form in the presence of sunlight, green leaves change air and water into food in the form of starch. But this is not exactly true. I should have told you that this is not the exact form of very first stage of prepare food that has been prepared in the leaf. Actually, there is a reaction in between water and carbon dioxide inside the leaf, and through from those two components, the first product that is being made is called glucose, which is of the form of a simple sugar. Okay, now this glucose is being converted to some new form, and that new or complex form, complex form, that is a bit tougher form, that means bigger form, which is complex in nature, and that form is called starch, and we will come to know about it, why it happens actually inside the plant. Now It is used in a number of ways by the plant. This simple sugar is used by a number of ways by the plant. See, it is used to get energy. Then some of it is used for growth. Extra food is stored in the form of starch in leaves, stems or roots. We eat that part of a plant which has food stored in it. Very important thing. Very important. The food prepared by the plant is in the form of simple sugar. I have already discussed, and this simple sugar is used by the plant in this for this region. It is used to get energy. I have told you, to get energy by the plant they use this simple sugar. Then some of it is used for growth. Yes, for their growth and development plant use this simple sugar. Now extra food is stored. That means the food prepared by plant is quite large in content. That means throughout the day the plant never stops to prepare food. That means sunlight, जब तक sunlight रहेगा तब तक क्या होगा, the plant leaf will continue to prepare their food. They doesn't know how much they are going to use, but actually does it happen? Say at our home, whenever our mom used to prepare food, sometimes some part of the food is being not eaten. We could not be able to eat all of them, right? So we store it inside the refrigerator or some other freezer, right? So the same thing is happened in case of plant body also. So the amount of food that is not being used by the plant during the daytime or day is converted into some complex form called starch, and start storing the starch in various parts of the plant. Sometimes it might be they might be stored it under that leaf only, or sometimes it might be stored in the stem, or sometimes it might be stored in the root. But we people are, that means we man or animals are so intelligent, we choose that part of the plant in which the extra amount of starch, that means eatable food is present. We normally choose that part and we eat it. Understood? That means if we eat carrot, carrot is under the ground, so it is a root, right? So we eat the root part of that carrot. We don't eat that stem part, neither the stem part nor the leaf part we eat. But in case of spinach, we eat the leaves, because we know in case of spinach food is stored in the leaves only. But in case of mango, the food is stored in the fruit. So we don't eat mango leaves or mango stems or any other content, any other part of the mango except the mango fruit, right? So we are so intelligent and we choose that part only where starch is being stored for future use by the plant. So we pluck it and we used to take it as a food. So I hope you understood this quite well. Now a few oral questions are given. I hope you will answer it. For the first question, photosynthesis takes place in a leaf, flower or root. Definitely its answer should be leaf. The main vein, leaf, stem is formed by a double pipeline of cells. Definitely, what is it? Leaf. Leaf will not be proper actually. It should be main vein. Okay, midrib, isn't it? Midrib is only the place inside a leaf which is formed by a double pipeline cell. So your answer will be main vein. Next, plants prepare food in the form of simple sugar or salt. Definitely it should be simple sugar. So this is the question answer section. Now I think we should move to this part. Activity we will discuss in later video. Okay, now Some unusual plants, now not usual, so why that is called, they are called unusual, right? So now look at this diagram. This plant looks unusual, this plant is also looks quite unusual, this is also unusual, and this is also an unusual plant, because they are not looks, they doesn't look green in color, but this door they look green, but here no leaves is present. Instead of leaves there only some spikes are available, understood? So these are non-usual plants. So now let us move to this paragraph. Some plants like the cactus do not have leaves. Yes. Where then is their food made? Yes, very important question. It is made in their green stems. See, cactus, in case of cactus you will see some green fleshy stems are there. Those are responsible for preparation of food, because chlorophyll is present there, so it looks what, green. Here not much, here no, here you will not found any leaves. Instead of leaves there are some spikes. Why, we will come to know about it later in the higher classes. This is out of your syllabus, so I don't want to make this video longer by discussing about those things. Okay, now another thing, mold and mushrooms are non-green plants. They do not have chlorophyll, that's why they look pale white, or you can say not non-green. So molds and mushrooms are non-green plants. You have to remember these examples for question answer purpose. Okay, now they do not have chlorophyll, that's why they are non-green. They cannot make their food, of course they do not, they are not being able to prepare food because they are lack of, they have no chlorophyll, that means they are lack of chlorophyll. So how they will get then the food? They will get their food from what? Dead and decaying plants and animals. They will grow, that means these things will grow on the dead, or you can say decaying plants and animal body, from which these will absorb food items or food for their survival. Understood? Now the leaves of some plants like the croton have chlorophyll. These type of leaves have also chlorophyll, but it looks red in color. Actually what happens here, there is another pigment which is responsible for the visibility of the red color on their leaf, but just below that red color pigment there is another pigment called chlorophyll present, so due to which these plants are capable of preparing their own food, but they doesn't look green since they are covered by some other pigment which is of red color. So they appear dark red. See, these leaves like called croton have chlorophyll, but they appear dark red. This is because of the presence of a red substance, I told you, right, that hides the green chlorophyll. Does photosynthesis takes place in such leaves? Of course yes, it does, because chlorophyll is present. So chlorophyll is responsible for preparing food. So since in these croton plants chlorophyll is present, so it is quite capable of preparation of food inside the leaves, right? So I think you, all doubts have been cleared, or all concepts I have given throughout this up to here. So in the next video we will try to finish this, and this activity also I will explain in the this few more activities are there which I will explain in next class, next video. Okay, thank you. Till then, take care of your health. Goodbye, and please share my videos and subscribe my channel if you have not subscribed it. So thank you. Stay healthy, stay fit. Bye bye.